The story of Cain and Abel began in the early days of man, not long after Adam and Eve were expelled from the Garden of Eden. Eve gave birth to 2 sons, first Cain and later Abel. As the boys grew into men, they chose different paths in life. Cain became a farmer, tilling the soil and growing crops, while Abel became a shepherd, tending flocks of sheep. One day, both brothers decided to bring offerings to the Lord. Cain, being a farmer, brought some of the fruits of the soil as his offering. Abel, on the other hand, brought fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. When the Lord considered their offerings, he looked with favor upon Abel and his offering, but did not look favorably on Cain's offering. This difference in the Lord's response sparked intense emotions in Cain. He became very angry, and his face fell in disappointment and resentment. The Lord, seeing Cain's reaction, spoke to him directly. He asked Cain why he was angry and why his face was downcast. The Lord then offered Cain guidance, telling him that if he did what was right, he would be accepted. However, the Lord also warned Cain that if he did not do what was right, sin was crouching at his door, desiring to have him, but Cain must rule over it. Despite this divine counsel, Cain's anger and jealousy continued to simmer. Sometime later, Cain spoke to his brother Abel, and they went out into the field together. It was there, away from others, that Cain's emotions reached a boiling point. In a moment of rage, he attacked his brother Abel and killed him. This act marked the first murder in biblical history. After the terrible deed was done, the Lord came to Cain and asked him a simple yet profound question. "Where is your brother Abel?" Attempting to deflect and deny his actions, responded with a question that would become infamous. "Am I my brother's keeper?" This response not only showed Cain's unwillingness to take responsibility for his actions, but also highlighted the breakdown of family bonds that his act of violence had caused. The Lord, however, was not deceived. He confronted Cain directly, declaring that Abel's blood was crying out to him from the ground. The imagery of Abel's blood calling for justice emphasized the severity of Cain's crime in the eyes of God. As a consequence of his actions, the Lord pronounced a curse upon Cain. From that day forward, when Cain worked the ground, it would no longer yield its crops for him. This was a particularly harsh punishment for a farmer, effectively ending Cain's way of life. Moreover, Cain was condemned to be a restless wanderer on the earth, forever separated from his home and family. Upon hearing this punishment, Cain protested, claiming it was more than he could bear. He feared that, as a wanderer, anyone who found him would kill him. In response, the Lord showed mercy amidst judgment. He placed a mark on Cain, declaring that anyone who killed Cain would suffer vengeance 7 times over. This mark served as both a protection for Cain and a reminder of his crime. Following this divine encounter, Cain went out from the Lord's presence and settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. There, he started a family and even built a city, which he named after his son Enoch. The story of Cain continued through his descendants, who became known for various skills and innovations, including animal husbandry, music, and metalworking. The story of Cain and Abel resonates with us today. It serves as a powerful narrative about the consequences of jealousy, the importance of faith and obedience, and the devastating effects of violence. It raises profound questions about our human nature, free will, and our relationship with God. The story also teaches us the themes of God's justice and mercy. While Cain's crime is severely punished, he is also protected from retribution, illustrating a complex interplay between God's judgment and compassion. The legacy of this story extends far beyond its immediate context. It continues to provoke reflection on the nature of good and evil, the consequences of our choices, and our responsibilities to one another. In the end, the story of Cain and Abel serves as a cautionary tale about the destructive power of unchecked emotions and the importance of heeding God's guidance. It reminds us of the value of human life and the far-reaching consequences of violence.